keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, it's that time when I am about, or I should say, good night to the world. Good night to all of my wonderful people who are on the World Wide Web, and welcome to yet another edition of Straight Talk for another Monday night, Monday, the 16th day of February, in the year of our Lord 2026. And let me say a very special night, very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis and to the entire Caribbean region. And welcome to all. Welcome all to Straight Talk. And thank those who continue to share the link. As when you do, we get first timers, and we are always eternally grateful for that. And for the first timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national, regional, and international interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. And on this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, And I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me, as always, with another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I always pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded by the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And the excerpt goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. Let's seek the courage needed, our high calling, to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, in particular our first timers, I can assure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We never try to make it more interesting, neither by omission or by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement. Not at all. Especially if that comes at the expense of accuracy. Because we lean on the facts, as it is my bounden duty to present always the plain truth, the unvarnished truth, I call it, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, transparency in St. Kitts and Nevis and wherever you are on this globe. Because this program joins us together with people across our federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know, some we have met, others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Some will disagree with the positions of truth we advance on Straight Talk, and some will disagree. And that's fine, because we are a different people. We entertain a diversity of views, I tend to call it. But what will sadden me, my people, is if we ever become disagreeable. But in the interim, in the meanwhile, let us thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for that day when we will all sing his praise together. So my Straight Talk family, welcome again, my people. And again, thanks for all you who continue to share the link as you bring first timers. Please continue to do so. I must always remind you as well, in particular our first timers, that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean, at some stage in the program, we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. There's some of you who I know like what I call the cloak of anonymity. And I can understand that, because coming up in St. Kitts at this time, under this current regime, it's not easy. It's not easy. As the reggae singer would say, I think it was Lucky Dube who said it's not easy. So we give you the cloak of anonymity, and our email address is on the screen. You can access via our email platform, as it's there on your screens. Straight Talk Patches at gmail.com. Straight Talk is one word, STRAIGHTTALK at gmail.com. Straight Talk is also heard live on Alexa, and some of you have access to Alexa. And you know, all you gotta say, just Alexa play Massive Vibes Radio, and we thank our friend and owner of that platform, who gives us access at a modest cost, and we are grateful for that. Some of you have made donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk. And for that I say a big, big thank you. May I reassure you that no matter what your contribution, please do not stop. It helps to continue this important service. Some of you have promised and continue to promise. That's fine. As long as you have access to this public service, we welcome you. Others who may wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form, a very simple process, highly confidential as well. But thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And we say a special welcome, and we must say that special welcome to our Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Young Dwayne, Jasmine, Tristan, Shema, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, Soraya, and your good friend, my grandson Neymar, Elizabeth, and that special lady in St. Louis. I met a caller from Sandy Point, I think it was some time ago, and we are happy to have all of you on board. We normally have our observations and review. That's the time when we highlight the current issues, we do some reflection, we ask a few questions. What was accomplished, how it helped others, what changed since, and what is expected next, and what new we have learned as a people. I just remember that I have not gone to see that Tabasco pepper farm. Someone told me that it has moved to Keon. I have to reconfirm that. But the Tabasco seeds apparently have not germinated as yet. But after our observations and review, we will move to our thesis for tonight, which I have titled, Imagine Selling St. Kitts and Nevis passports to buy out Nevisians' land. Could you imagine that, my Straight Talk family? You give someone shares. He sells shares, sells our passports. Imagine that. Then he comes to Nevis and wants to buy your lands. Something has to be wrong with that. But we will get into the details in a few. And moving to our first observation, I must touch a political issue that's here looming in St. Kitts. I've avoided touching it for some time, but there comes a time when when one has to confront certain things head on. And having looked over the past 4 or 5 months across the Eastern Caribbean, I'm sure like me, you will have all observed that the center-left red parties have long shared overlapping social democratic roots grounded in labor movements. Like you hear Mia Motley would say, we're red and we're ready. And she was really ready because she got a third successive clean sweep. But the center-left red parties have long shared, as I said, overlapping social democratic roots grounded in labor movements, trade unionism, and post-colonial nation building. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and Barbados, recent electoral cycles have indeed revolved around labor-oriented parties seeking renewed mandates, often framed as referenda on economic management, cost of living, climate change, and leadership longevity. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the United Labour Party, ULP, seemed to have faced voter fatigue. Voter fatigue narratives amid its leaders' bid for a 6th consecutive term, Ralph Gonsalves. And that was an unprecedented milestone in the country's modern political history. And the people made it clear that they were not going to have any of that. Meanwhile, in St. Lucia and Barbados, the Labour parties there capitalize on organization, message discipline, and unified internal structures to secure victory. Speculation about St. Kitts and Nevis reflects this broader regional pattern. However, the political dynamics here are distinct. The People's Action Movement, PAM, has historically struggled to secure government independently, governing only through coalition arrangements. And in a fragmented opposition environment, particularly with the presence of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, the SKNLP, and the People's Labour Party, strategic clarity becomes critical. The concern raised by Straight Dog family that PAM may be misdirecting its political energy speaks to a broader strategic dilemma. If the primary electoral contest is against the incumbent St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, then diluting opposition efforts by concentrating attacks on the People's Labour Party, the PLP, risks splitting the anti-government vote, my Straight Dog family. And that is so true.
My name is Austin Coker, and I am going to get directly to the point. Mingonton Nokana, straightforward. To you, the political leader, there are words on the street that are letter being sent to the People's Action Movement from the PLP executive. Is it true?
Last week, Friday, I was at my office. I got a message from one of my staff members to tell me that a gentleman was outside to me. I sent a message to indicate that I was trying to meet a court deadline and so leave a message. What was left was an envelope marked confidential. I took the envelope, I put it in my drawer, I locked it away since it said confidential, and after that, because I am working in the best interest of the people, I went to make sure that I go to my constituency office in the evening to do all my objections to make sure that no wrong names are on the voters list, so I didn't remember the envelope. Saturday, I had a wonderful breakfast with my team, and we planned for today. By the time I got home, my good friend sent me a message with the letter that is circulating from Lionel Sidney Osborne, addressed to Natasha Gray Brooks, Janice Daniel Hodge, and Timothy Harris. And I'm not sure if you saw the letter, but basically the letter was suggesting that there should be a unity arrangement between amongst the three parties. And it also had the results from the last election. The first time I opened the envelope was Monday morning. By then, I would have already seen the memo circulating in social media. So I began to wonder if it was really confidential because persons in the media saw it before I actually saw it. I locked it away thinking it was confidential, but then I saw it on social media. I have not responded to the letter. The party issued a statement. I'm not sure if you saw that. The party issued a statement indicating that we are focused on ensuring that we build our party and work in the best interest of the people. At this point, we are not focused on any alignment. If it is, there is any alignment with any political party in saying it's a Nevis, it will be on PAM's terms. And it will be when PAM is ready. And it will be what the people want. So I am not going to be forced into getting into any alignment. My first and foremost priority is the people, and I'm using the political party of PAM to make sure that we work on the best interests of the people. I'm not worried about any alignment. I'm worried about making sure that we work for the people and build a team that is ready for the people.
I thank you for your indulgence, my Sweet Talk family. But I deliberately ensured that this presentation by the leader of PAM was unedited. Because in small island electorates, where margins are tight and personalities weigh heavily, opposition cohesion often determines outcomes more than ideological distinctions. I want to repeat that. My Sweet Talk family, in small island electorates, hear me good, where margins are tight and personalities weigh heavily, opposition cohesion often determines outcomes more than ideological distinctions. Ultimately, successful political movements in the Caribbean have tended to combine unity, disciplined messaging, and a clear identification of the principal opponent. Who is your enemy, for example? Does PAM and PLP have a common enemy? These are questions we must make clear. If PAM or the People's Action Movement aspires to transition from perennial coalition partner to governing party, in its own right, mark you, it may need to reassess whether its current focus strengthens or fragments the broader opposition base. To many political pundits, PAM's focus on the People's Labour Party and its obsession with its leader, Timothy Harris, is certainly on the wrong Labour Party and surely on the wrong leader. And that's the view of most political pundits, and Straight Talk can only concur. My family, the last thing I'll say on this is that our country benefits most when discussions stay centered on national priorities and not on personal rivalries. And I need to repeat that one more time. Our country will benefit most when discussions stay centered on national priorities and not personal rivalries. I'm tempted to go on with this, but I will not, my Straight Talk family. I'll end it right there and move to our second observation, which, my Straight Talk family, moves us over to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what a difference of few months. What a difference, beg your pardon. A few months and a general election makes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
That is what honorable members. Honorable members.
You want vote Carlos to get me to sit down? You want vote Carlos?
Honorable members.
Well, you allow this door to
Honorable.
I know this will happen this evening.
Honorable members.
I know this was happening with one
Honorable
Carlos. Who the
member.
hell you think you're talking to? You Carlos?
No.
You nothingness? What the hell is you?
Honorable members, I'm on my feet.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, in case you're wondering, that's back then in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Parliament. Then leader Rachel Ford, I think is her name, who had served as Speaker following her swearing in on November 30th in 2020, really had a tough time controlling that situation. But the members of Parliament have switched benches since the last elections in November last year, November 2025. And the new Speaker, Rania Durham Balcom, was elected on the 23rd of December 2025. And after nearly 25 years in government and as a Prime Minister, it must be difficult for Ralph Gonzalez to adjust to his new position as leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Walking out of Parliament on Thursday, the 12th December, Gonzalez in protest declared that the Parliament has become a complete joke, to use his words.
It has become a joke. I'm gone.
Okay.
I'm gone, Madam Speaker. The Parliament is a joke. This Parliament has become a complete joke.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
And my Straight Talk family, when the Leader of the Opposition, Ralph Gonzalez, returned, the back and forth with the Speaker continued. My Straight Talk family.
This is a free and democratic country. I don't have to challenge your ruling. I can leave if I want to leave. Madam Speaker.
It is lacking in decorum.
Madam Speaker. I made a point of order. The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister got up, compounded it, and then you allowed him to say sorry. He didn't say that. He went further and did another compounding. And in relation to the earlier matter, Madam Speaker, I have a particular view and I will write you on it. But I really don't want to see a parliament become somewhere that people just read sets of speeches. That's not a parliament.
Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Opposition Leader, my apologies. You are taking these second jabs a bit too far. I made my ruling this morning, and if you so wish, you can write to me on it and I can write you back. Okay? It's not for us to revisit, to compound on an issue that you're having at the moment.
Well, Madam Speaker, once you brought the matter into focus, I wasn't going to say anything about that. You brought it into focus.
What I brought into focus was your conduct in walking out of here.
Yes.
This morning, which is in breach of Standing Order 40.
Madam Speaker.
It was in breach of Standing Order 40. I said nothing. You have returned to the Honorable House, and again, you are seeking to disrespect this Honorable House.
I'm not doing that at all, Madam Speaker. If on the first occasion, rather than sitting and listening to the reading of a speech, I left. I didn't challenge your order.
And you had.
I didn't challenge your order.
Privilege to do that, but now you're storming out. You're saying you're leaving. You're storming out before I can even make.
No, but Madam Speaker, with great respect, what is happening? The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister was taking this matter for a joke, and it was a serious matter, and I formed the impression that he was given a particular latitude, which in the circumstances that he ought to have been put on a tighter rein. And this is a free and democratic country. I don't have to challenge your ruling. I can leave if I want to leave.
But be careful in continuing that conduct. You may not be back here.
Well, Madam Speaker,
No, we will not be having the back and forth.
With great respect.
With the greatest respect, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, I'd like to make my ruling now on your issue that you raised earlier.
May I say something about the latter question, Madam Speaker?
I don't think we need to...
My Straight Talk family, the former Prime Minister and now Leader of the Opposition, as you can glean from the interaction with this new Speaker, Ralph Gonzalez was strong of the view, and correctly so, that Parliament is not for the reading of speeches. And Ralph had the last say regarding a subtle threat from the Speaker. And I believe that our own Speaker, Lanine Blanchett, can learn from the level of tolerance that the Speaker, Balcom, I think is the name, new Speaker, Durham Balcom, yes, that's the name, demonstrated. But Ralph Gonzalez was strong in the view that speeches or Parliament is not for reading of speeches. But he had the last say regarding the subtle threat. Ralph did say this, and very important to all and to the Speaker herself, about representatives in Parliament. The representatives in the Parliament are sent by the people. And the Speaker, and all speakers must respect that situation.
This is a free and democratic country. I don't have to challenge your ruling. I can leave if I want to leave.
But be careful in continuing that conduct. You may not be back here.
Well, Madam Speaker...
No, we will not be having the back and forth.
With great respect.
With the greatest respect, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, I'd like to make my ruling now on your issue that you raised earlier.
May I say something about the latter question, Madam Speaker?
I don't think we need to revisit that at the moment.
But just to say, the only people who can stop me from coming here are the people of North Central.
Well said, the only people that can stop Ralph Gonzalez from going to Parliament is the people who elected him from North Central and St. Vincent. But the other lesson to be learned from this altercation here for all leaders, all representatives, is to always prepare yourselves for when you get back down. Because what goes up must come down, my Straight Talk family. And moving to the third observation, I forgot, and I just, by the way, I'll give an update on what we call the prison project, which is in fact the correctional facility which is under construction. And I thought I would address it tonight, fulsome, and to confirm that work continues on the correctional facility being constructed by Caribbean Galaxy, and you can glean from that picture on your screen that buildings are being constructed as we speak. So the prison project is still alive. After all, Prime Minister Joe signed over 2,000 CORs and issued near 30 or 40,000 passports and collected the fees near $700 million on this project. So it is anticipated that it will continue. And in addition to that, he took that lady to the UN, remember, at the high-level meeting of the UN General Assembly, my Straight Talk family. And those are my observations in review for tonight. And I move right into my thesis, which again I have titled, Imagine Selling St. Kitts Nevis Passports to buy out Nevisians' land. And my straight talk family, a Commonwealth lawyer for the Destiny Project that's proposed for Nevis, Dawn DeCouto, claimed that she helped draft the current controversial piece of legislation dubbed the first Sustainability Economic Zone, SEZ, in the Caribbean to be located on beautiful Nevis. Straight Talk, however, found out later that this definite plot to rob the sovereignty of our two beautiful islands and one lovely paradise was the brainchild of Mark Brantley and Olivier Janssen, which was hatched, we understand, on this luxury yacht in the Mediterranean. The rush to disguise these insidious plans behind the legislation generated a great deal of negative pushback from so many NGOs and the general public, forced the Prime Minister, Terence Michael Drew, to review the Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Act, or the SSZAA legislation, and in so doing, establish what he called a committee, or his words, what he called the ad hoc committee, my straight talk family, as he informed us, my straight talk family, the Prime Minister did tell the nation this about the committee which he established.
The other matter we'll talk to is about the SSZ, the Sustainability Zone. I want to say that 2 meetings already have been had with the ad hoc committee.
Okay.
The ad hoc committee, of course, is an extensive committee that I think is about 15, but if I mention some of them, we have the St. Kitts Christian Council, the Evangelical Association, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Trades and Labor Union, Bankers and Financial Services, Caribbean Confederation of Credit Union, Eastern Caribbean. Well, these are going to report. They're going to be a part of the committee in terms of giving us their feedback. We have Organization of Rastafari Unity, where it was extended, the St. Kitts Nevis Medical and Dental Association. We also have the Bar Association. That is a fundamental part of it. We have the St. Christopher Trust, that is actually a part of this as well. And so we have all these organizations that are coming together to advise. So they have already looked at the SSZ law.
So yes, my straight talk family, the committee was established, and Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew, Prime Minister Drew, my straight talk family, has in fact admitted or committed that the committee on 2 occasions met and proposed a strengthening of same, and he had no problem going back to the parliament. He said this, my straight talk family.
It has nothing to do with Destiny. Destiny is a project that is being proposed that has not reached the committee as yet. That is being proposed. SSZ is a law that says any major project to be proposed in St. Kitts and Nevis must come through a process and must go to Parliament. I'm just simply saying that when it comes to these major massive projects, that there should be an opportunity for our people to have full view of what is happening. And this is exactly what the SSZ is doing. So I want to thank those who came to the SSZ, to the meeting to discuss the act itself. They are proposing, along with us, how ways in which we can strengthen it. And I will go back to Parliament as much as I have to strengthen the law.
And my straight dog family, the Prime Minister was clear that he will go back to Parliament as much as he has to in order to strengthen the law. My straight dog family. And Mark Brantley was obviously unhappy with what was said by Prime Minister Joe in terms of going back to Parliament to strengthen the law if he has to. And my straight dog family, Mark Brantley is unhappy, like I said, with that position, and has made insular remarks about St. Kitts and Nevis. And I mentioned before, that it's his playbook. The same playbook he used back 5 or 6 years ago when he mashed up the immunity. He's now using that plain playbook to attack the Prime Minister. And that, I submit, is quite characteristic of Mark Brantley, who has to out somebody's light for his light to shine. But all of a sudden, my straight dog family, Mark Brantley seemed to have forged an unholy alliance, an unusual one, a morally dubious one. But he has forged an unholy alliance with financial crime blogger Kenneth Ridgok. And I made mention of this before, and it bears repeating. But Kenneth Ridgok, we know, is a self-proclaimed authority on money laundering, terrorist financing, and financial crime. But belatedly, he continues to promote Brantley as someone with clean hands and a contrite spirit, as if reflecting a moral or spiritual awareness of having done wrong. Because according to Rijak, Mark Brantley denounced the Chinese CBI fraud by distancing himself from the jail project. But my straight dog family, when it comes to the jail project, if it was a place where a crime was committed, hear this, I'll say it again. When it comes to the jail project, if there was a place where a crime was committed, then the available and credible evidence puts Mark Brantley, beg your pardon, right on the scene of the crime. And just take my word for now, my straight dog family, because if it was not for fear of transgressing, if it was not for fear of violating the rule as it relates to the oath of secrecy, Straight Talk would have long posted a copy of a decision on your screen. But we are not going to do that. As a matter of fact, my straight dog family, as a matter of fact, former cabinet colleague of Mark Brantley, remember John L. Powell said this. How many of us forget this statement made by John L. Powell some years ago? He said this.
The prison is being built in terms of financing is similar to what we did with the Park Hyatt. A developer comes in, presents a project, and they are allocated X number of shares, which represent citizenships, which they can make available to the investors. The only difference is that with this particular project, when it is completed, it will be turned over to the government to manage and to operate as a prison, which means that the government did not have to find the money to build the prison. The member, myself and the other ministers were part of the approval process for that project while we were in government. it is a private project. It is being done by a private company, as with the Park Hyatt, and so there is no need. It doesn't go through any government process in terms of having to put out tenders for different contracts and all of that.
So yes, my Shedrock family, Paul was clear that his party was part of the decision making. But I ask Ken Ridjock further tonight, if 5,500 shares were issued for that jail project, and that was a big scam, won't you agree, Ken, that 10,000 shares will classify as the biggest scam? And imagine Mark Brantley proposing to sell St. Kitts Nevis passports to finance his Belgian friend with millions of dollars to buy lands owned by the people of Nevis. So the executive chairman of the board of CBI governors disapproves this, and he attracts the wrath of Ken Ridjock's pen. Imagine that. He refused, and rightly so, disapproves this. But Ken Ridjock pulled his pen, and the poor chairman, St. Kitts, bring back SKN. Imagine that. And I hold no brief. Let me say now, I hold no brief for Calvin St. Just. But these two Ken Ridjock blogs could not be corroborated. Thus the veracity, the truth of its content, the truth of the stories to Straight Talk remain questionable. But Ken Ridjock wrote absolutely nothing. He wrote absolutely nothing when Mark Brantley was caught red-handed jumping on to a tender. Mark Brantley was caught again red-handed, my Straight Dog family, jumping on this tender to meet his bosses on the luxury super yacht at Anchorage or Four Seasons Hotel. And Ken Ridjock remained silent on this. Mark Brantley was looking like a fisherman going to sea to pull or to haul his pots, having trusted the tide to reward his efforts. Trusted Roger Ver and or Olivier Johnson to reward his efforts. But here comes Ridjock again. And Ridjock speaks about the Brantley doctrine. Seem obsessed with Brantley. Ridjock comes again, totally ignoring the land grab by this so-called Belgian investor, who, by the way, acquired economic citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis under a CBI program Ridjock claimed was rife with corruption and fraud. Yes, Ridjock, Olivier Johnson is a Nevisian, he said, having graduated or qualified through the economic citizenship program of St. Kitts and Nevis. But my Straight Talk family, the pillars are clear. If you read your monitors there, the pillars are clear. Ridjock writes, unity before alignment, But may I say that charity begins at home? Why there's no unity between St. Kitts and Nevis? Why not remove the 113 clause and have a permanent unity between St. Kitts and Nevis? I ask Ken Ridjock tonight again, how could he opine that Mark Brantley understands the truth others refuse to face, when his new model closer to Monaco or Dubai contemplates the sale of 10,000 shares to build out the Destiny Project alone? And if your source is valuable and truthful for the past 10 years, then you can confirm or deny, Ridjock, if it is true that special concession was requested for the CIU board to sell shares at $250,000 US to raise the money to build out the infrastructure for the Destiny Project. Straight Talk knows that it is true and is saying this is ultimate rip-off. The biggest scam was planned. My Straight Talk family, the biggest scam was planned. And we know the issue with Mama Brantley. We know, my Straight Talk family, the exclusive real estate deal, a go-between. And we use some modest figures. 2,400 acres of land at $100,000 per acre. Very modest. And that equals to $240 million. Realtor fees potentially paid to Sharon Mama Brantley, 5%. That's $12 million. But we know because of the exclusivity, she may get 10 or 15%. And my Straight Talk family, could you imagine? Mark Brantley recommends that approval in principle be given to Johnson to start selling CBI shares to raise money to pay for the land. Land belonging to Nevisians, my Straight Talk family. Imagine, Mark Brantley brings the investor to sell our passports, then to buy our land we got from independence. Or as a matter of fact, it was before that. Because 51 years ago, in 1975, under the visionary leadership of Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, our government took a bold step to reclaim our lands from private plantation owners and place them in public hands, breaking the centuries-old dominance of private estate ownership. So this was more than legislation. It was justice for our people. A guarantee that the wealth of our soil would serve all, not just a privileged few. Our passport, on the other hand, is part of our country's patrimony and a tangible expression of its independence and nationhood. Our passport belongs to the nation collectively, not to any individual government or politician to exploit for private gain. Using it solely for short-term financial gain, as proposed by Destiny, can only be seen as undermining that patrimony. In 2025, 50 years after Bradshaw acquired the lands and gave lands to Nevis as well, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley promotes this developer, Olivier Janssen, as I said, to use CBI revenue to directly purchase 2.4 thousand acres of land owned by Nevisians. Not for affordable housing, nor youth entrepreneurship, but for an enclave in Nevis. And Johnson claims, my straight dog family, to have seed money. So we ask, why doesn't he pay for the lands if he has seed money?
From what I have read online, I can see that you are a crypto billionaire or a cash billionaire. I'm not too sure, but my question is, with a project of this magnitude, where is the funding coming from?
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you. Good question too. I won't go into specifics about my net worth. I think it's always overstated, right? I can tell you that I have enough to fund this project. And like any project that's proper residential, you work through a combination of seed capital, where you fund the first phase of that. Then you will start taking deposits or payments for the units, and that will help contribute building it. And we will abide by strict rules that we cannot spend any money ourselves and take it away, because I know in the past there were some pyramid schemes where you start building a project and then you wait to sell the next units and you take the money already, and we will have strict accounting standards that can never happen. We will also be very transparent about that. But yeah, what we basically need is the seed capital to get to the phase where, and already invested a lot of money to get to where we are today, right?
My straight dog family, this man called Olivier Johnson is not bringing any of his own money to the project, but wants to sell our passports belonging to you and I, to pay Nevisians for their land. His plan, therefore, is to use the CBI program as a speculative funding instrument. And we should say no. Straight Talk understands that the CIU chairman did not recommend cabinet approval for 10,000 shares at $350,000 US per share. That's US $3.5 billion, my straight dog family, or EC $9.5 million. And look at what Brantley was trying to do. Read section 4C, my straight dog family. If the public benefit involves a real estate development to be constructed on Nevis, before preparing a submission to the federal cabinet with its recommendations, the Board of Governors shall require the applicant public benefactor to obtain approval in principle from the Nevis Island Administration for the federal cabinet to consider the applicant public benefactor as an approved benefactor. And we say, hell no. We stand with just and just. Hell no. This is a serious threat we face today, my straight dog family. Mark Brantley and his NIA won't walk around the CBI. It's a serious threat that we face. Mark Brantley proposing to use CBI funds to return these lands to private control, to reinstate the dominance of a small elite, a few. And let us be clear tonight, my straight dog family. We cannot allow the hard-won gains of our people to be reversed. The lands belong to our citizens. Its wealth must benefit our children, our farmers, and our communities, not foreign investors or tiny class of private owners like Oliver Johnson's. The CIU chairman, Calvin St. Just, and I hold no brief for him, I said. I implore him to become more transparent when it comes to all those projects, the Bastille High School, the Creative Arts Center, the R&B expansion. Give the country the facts about the number of shares allocated for these projects. Just like I said, we want to know. Because imagine, you give Mark Brantley and Oliver Johnson shares, 10,000 shares, like I said, at US $350,000 per share, per investment unit. That equals to US $3.5 billion. You see, $9.5 billion. And we said that's a no-no. That's a no-no. So, Mr. Chairman, we agree here and straight up. You were in a right frame of mind not to recommend to Cabinet the approval for such a model under the CBI program. Hell no. We say, imagine selling St. Kitts and Nevis passports for Oliver Johnson to buy Nevisians land? No, we said. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded to call, the numbers are on your screens. I always like to implore you, and I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily. I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, my Straight Dog family, it is 5 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, and we go to the lines and we take our first caller. Caller, you are live on Straight Talk. Good night to you.
Good night, Mr. Libel.
Good night to you, my dear. Sounds like my quotationist.
Certainly.
Always good to hear you. Always get in first.
The problem is not that the enemy will invade you.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the internal enemies and traitors.
Problem is the internal enemy and traitors?
Yeah, the problem is the internal enemies and traitors.
Okay.
I repeat, the problem is not that the enemy will invade you. The problem is the internal enemies and traitors. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well, my Straight Dog family. From across the Narrows there. Always providing thought-provoking quotations. The problem is not that the enemies will invade you. The problem is the internal enemies and traitors. Let's go back to the lines, my Straight Dog family, at 6 past the 9 o'clock hour, and we say good night to our second caller here. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Mr. Straight Talk, abracadabra. I recognize that voice.
Abracadabra, how are you, my brother?
I am peaceful, my brother, from another mother.
Man, you are really coming with something tonight. I tell you, you are right on the money, my brother. But it's good again for another Monday night to hear from you and hear what you have to say, because you always bring truth. Anyway, we'll just say hello to my people and get on with this thing. Good night there to my brother Alvin there in its sadness. And good night, sister-in-law. How are you? My lovely, wonderful sister-in-law. And good night to my lovely niece there in St. Luke. Good night, Texas Queen, and good night, Ellis and Abigail. Yeah, good night. Mr. Straight Talk, listen here. I want to buy something. I have some money, but I'm going to give it to you for you to take it from me to buy what I have. That's what you are saying I must do. You understand my drift?
Say that again for me.
I says, I want to buy something.
Yes, you want to buy some land.
But
land.
I myself want to buy it.
Yes.
But then I have my money. So I'm going to take my money, give it to you, lend you it, so you buy it from me. Understand? That's how me understand it now, that you take my own money to buy it from me and give me back my money. So he not go spend his money.
No, that ain't so, you know.
Am I right?
No, let me clear that up for you. He wants to take, you're selling goods. You're selling a commodity. And your commodity is a passport. You're selling passports.
Okay.
So he wants to get approval for 10,000 passports. And he will sell them. And the passports belong to you and I, eh?
Okay, I got you now.
He sell the passports, our passports, all right? And they belong to the people in Nevis as well. The same passports, same people. And he goes and pay them for the land. The people who, he taking the same people passports, selling them, and taking the money now and pay them for the land. Something got to be wrong with that.
That's the same thing I was saying, but I was just using it the wrong way.
Yes, okay. Well, that's quite understandable.
That's what I was saying.
Right, okay.
That you taking, but remember Mark Grantley says, and not cutting you off, he says that the contract ain't finished. How you going to let, now if every plan go wrong, they're going to pay him $75 million. But if the plan go wrong and Nevis end, Nevis gonna pay this man over some 100 million. So how you gonna let you get the big squeeze when he gonna get a small squeeze? Am I right?
Perfectly right.
Man, this is not right. Somebody have to stand up to Papa Grantley and tell Papa Grantley you're going down the wrong road. You're going down the wrong road. You can't do this. Understand? Because all he is interested in is for him to come out on the right foot, not the left foot.
Exactly.
Because she and Mama Grantley share, to Papa and Mama gonna be rich. And that's all he's looking for.
Right.
That's all he's looking for. And whoever is in charge to stop this thing have to stop it.
And he got money. He says he's a millionaire. He got money. All he don't want to discuss his
network.
Yeah, right? But pay for the land,
But
buy
if you have
the land.
network, do it.
So do it. So what he does, he gets Mama Brantley to put an arrangement in place, deposit some monies, and put them in the escrow. Some of them in the escrow, so you can. A few got direct payment, but in escrow, it's paid to some lawyer or some other escrow firm. All right.
Right.
And once 12 months, and in some cases 18 months, and I think 24 months in some cases, to pay you for the land. So in the meantime, what does he want to do? Get your passport. Imagine you give him your passport to sell. So he sell your passport, collects the money, and takes the same money from your passport to pay for the land. What kind of nonsense is that?
This is not right.
Big scam.
And then he gonna give you up to 24 months before he can pay you off.
Yes. Imagine that.
No.
Imagine that.
This is smell wrong from the head again.
Smell wrong? That's what you say?
But just if you explain all this thing on the phone, why can't we see and understand what's going on?
They don't want us to understand. They don't want us to understand.
This is smell wrong. It tastes wrong. It eat wrong.
Of course.
Tree wrong.
Yes.
Understand? This man want to do all this thing, but we not. I mean, before the people rise up, they must sit down flat. Thank God for you. Thank God for you. And because you out there push, he wants you to go back in the back of the bus, but we now put you, we're going to bring you right up in front because you already move up in front. And you see what he want to do? He want to put Nevis people in the back of the bus like how Douglas put us and sell out those land. The next thing I want you to do for me, I give you some homework. I was hearing something about, I think he said it, the Prime Minister, that either he buy back the land, the Frigate Bay Golf Course, and all the land surrounding it, that when the young generation come up, they can get land to live in border. I hear something, but I ain't get it straightened out. So now I listened to you on Thursday night, yesterday. You says that, no, it was a lease. So I can't get it clear there because it was on ZIZ, say, and in the parliament, say what he did. So either he buy back or he get them back. I don't know. But that's your homework. Bring this thing up front. Let me get that understanding what's going on. Mr. Strater, I think I tarry long enough.
Yes.
I want to thank you for your blessing that you come each night and you let the public know what's going on. So you take care of yourself. You be good. See you when I see you. See you soon. Abracadabra.
Have a good night, my brother. Have a good night.
Yes, you also, man.
Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes. How are you tonight?
Are you there, caller?
Yes, how are you tonight, brother?
Oh, I'm peaceful. What about yourself?
Yeah, I try to digest your program. I know you're hitting that topic for a very long time, right? And I guess, and you're doing it very well. But what I want to say about the topic, I know you hit Mark a lot, but in reality, I did not give Mark wrong, and I was able to explain, if you give me the chance to explain what I meant by that. I did not give Mark wrong to fight to develop his country. But I asking the government to give him that right to sell some passport, the company sell some passport, take that money and develop Nevis. Because he has done in St. Kitts under your administration, the prison project. He has done with Crystal Harbor. So it's not, I don't see it wrong. I mean, I respect your opinion. We ain't going to be, disagreeable to each other tonight. We're going to be positive and gentle. But I see my point. His country needs to develop.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yeah, yes, Patrick.
The only other option, you mentioned about it's done before, right? The public benefit option. You've heard of that, did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The public benefit option was on the prison, the correctional facility, because of the prison. And the investor got some passports, if you ask me, got too many passports or too many shares, right, to build that project, which is still ongoing. I put it on your screen earlier.
I saw that.
All right?
Yeah.
But the fact is, you have to understand that this land is owned by the government. This land is owned by the government. You see that on the monitors there. And the investor comes in and builds the facility on the government's land. And when it's completed, they would hand it over to the government. You understand me?
Yes, Patrick.
That's the public benefit option. The only issue with this prison project, I wouldn't be afraid to say that I have difficulty with the amount of shares or the investment units that they were issued for this project. And that we understand, and that brought up the issues about underselling and these kind of things, right? Go to Mark Brantley.
Yeah.
This was 5,500 shares for this project you see on your screen there. Right? And again, own land. Go to Mark Brantley Nevis, and you have a right to support him, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But these are some ordinary people, are some people like you and I. Imagine you own the land, right? You also, the passport is also your patrimony. We have a collective ownership of the passport. It's all our passport. You agree on that, right?
Yes, yes.
All right? And he's going to issue some shares, investment units, to this Belgian. Yeah, he got Nevisian, Nevis citizenship now, you understand. But he give him these shares, and he sells your passport. He sells you and I passport, right? And comes back and buy the land and pay me for the land. So why I can't sell the passport myself? Why you gonna sell the passport and make so much money?
That's a legit argument.
But you're gonna give him 10,000 units, investment units, 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares that works out to $3.5 billion. How much this project gonna cost, so? Why you got to make money off the passports? That's the problem they have.
Okay, that's your problem, because you're talking about it very strongly and seriously, and I mean, I follow you up with it, but I never called you to talk about that. But it's bothering me.
I'm gonna tell you what I talk about, because all of a sudden Mark started to talk about it, and he stopped talking about it, and you see this Rejak put in this powerhouse in the Caribbean and some Brantley doctrine, and he gets in a distraction. So I don't want us to get distracted. I want us, and I want you to tell your Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, I want you to tell him, don't let Mark out his light. Because Mark got out his light for his to shine. Go ahead. I just
said that.
Yeah.
You know who's going to get hurt in this deal?
Who that?
The St. Kitts Labour Party.
Hurt? Why?
Because, why? Let me explain to you. There's 3 parties against the Labour government right now. Okay? 3 lions stacking the Labour government right now. In reality. Your government is stacking, your party is stacking them, PAM party is stacking them, the other party in Nevis is stacking the system or whatever it is, and my party standing neutral, just waiting to devour whomever standing in their way. And Joe is the one that will get hurt. The Labour Party is going to get hurt if it does not deliver. If it does not deliver to Mark, and they have a right to deliver to the man in any circumstances, because the system is not perfect, and it's never perfect, and St. Kitts has done some imperfection with that same kind of deal.
No, St. Kitts had the similar deal. No, I disagree with you on that. We had not the similar deal.
Crystal Harbour was a dirty deal.
No, but Crystal Harbour was entirely different to this. I understand. But I agree with you. I agree with you. The only thing was bad with Crystal Harbour, don't forget, is your good friend Denzel Douglas, you know him well, took up 853 acres of land, acquired the land and hand them over to Buddy Darby, sell 854 acres for $17 million. That was bad about it.
All those things were wrong. All those things was wrong things in the system all the time. That's why the system is not perfect.
Yeah, but two wrongs don't make a right.
Douglas was the Prime Minister. You know Douglas was the Prime Minister who would signed the deal?
Who? Signed the deal. Douglas is stupid.
Yes, because the deal is going to hurt somebody. If Labour government does not sign the deal, Patrick,
anyway,
they're going to hurt themselves.
Good to hear you, my brothers. I'll give you 5 more seconds.
Okay, brother.
Good to hear you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Labour government does not sign the deal, they're going to hurt themselves because they're in about 3 wolves.
Everybody saying don't sign it. Pam saying don't sign it. PLP said don't sign it. NRP said don't sign it. So how we gonna lose?
Because you know why they said don't sign it? Because they know anytime Judas not saying that they're gonna hurt the Labour Party.
All right,
trust my word.
Thanks a lot, my brother. Okay.
Prophetical message, Patrick.
Okay, my brother. Thanks a lot. Okay, all right. Have a good night.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right.
On Straight Talk, we're entitled to our views, and that's his view that Labour will get the worst. Caller, your live.
Mr. Liver.
My dear.
You keep the man on too long talking nonsense.
I'm
Let
sorry.
he go and ask Brantley what he do with all that money what he get from unity government.
Right.
Let he go ask Mark that. We get fed up at him now. Keep him after your radio.
Okay, my dear. I apologize for that, but that's all part of straight talk.
Mr. Liebert, yes. Let him talk, but he talk too long, talking nonsense.
Okay, talk too long and talking stupidness. Okay,
Nonsense.
I got you. My tolerance level is high. But my straight talk family, it's 22 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Our lines are open. The issue we have highlighted tonight is this big scam, big scam, where Brantley has proposed to the Prime Minister that he approve this project. The project anticipates that the CIU, that's the Citizenship by Investment Unit, would allocate 10,000 shares. And shares are what we call investment units. And for each share is sold at $350,000. And if he sells 10,000 shares, my straight talk family, that's US dollars, he collects $3.5 billion. My God, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Ian Patrick Liebert. Good night.
Good night, my brother. Good night. So that sounds like Mr. Politics.
Yeah, this is Mr. Politics here.
Yes.
First, I always want to thank God for life.
Yes, we do.
Thank God for a blessed country.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God for you who bring the issues to this program Straight Talk. And you tell now, you're doing this program for many years.
Yes.
You end up you put in government and you change government. Straight talk. No patches. My little input tonight. Defending the ordinary man and woman in this country. Patches, I calling out to the People's Action Movement, the PLP and the NRP to put the act together. Because Patches, I see election coming up soon. And Patches, I see a lot of gifts and all kind of things offering. All kind of things offering. The unity was doing well for the people of this country under the leadership of Dr. Harris. Especially the young men and women was out there killing one another. The young boys, they was killing one another with guns. And he bring up the peace program. You know, put them in job, put them in business and everything. The opposition, that was the Labour Party, criticize it and say all kind of negative thing about the program. Right? Young man out there getting money, Timothy give me money free, Unity give me money and all kind of nonsense. Patches. But Patches, they're getting government, so they're going to change all these things. But these things continue and continue worse. Patches, there's a lot of young men right now, every week going to that bank, man and woman, going into that bank a week time. You see them walking away. You see them mark up some kind of bar smoking and drinking. All kind of offering to them right now. Patches, let me tell you something. We ain't work for that. And that's why Mr. McMahon, I am agree with Mr. McMahon and Mr. McMahon said, vote until we get it right to the people to govern our country. That is where the country wants right now. Patches, a lot of people was in from the supporters and the opposite side when Unity was in, criticize the program, say all kind of thing about the program. Oh, Dr. Harris is giving the people country money. Dr. Harris is doing this and Dr. Harris is doing that. And Unity this and Unity that. Patches the more shut now. And the same thing happening. You don't hear them say nothing. because the party in government. And that is so unfair. Patches, that is so unfair. Patches, this is my country. Me not politics with nobody. I'm talking to defend my country. And lie, always putting us away. That one of these days they're going to regret it. And what goes up, come down. And a lying tongue have no memory. Because Patches, these people criticize the unity so bad about these things. And look at it now. Look at it now. Because they're supporting the party in government now. No money given, nothing given, nothing this and that and that now. Patches, these are meeting and the Patches, I want the people of this country to stop, look and listen and understand what's going on in this country, Patches.
Okay.
Patches, if I get back, I get back.
Okay.
Because I got other things to say. You have a wonderful night. May God bless you. And continue to bring out the issues.
God bless you as well, my brother. Thanks a lot for your information. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Good night.
Good night to you. Just turn the equipment down or move away from it, can you?
Turn the equipment down and move away.
Or move away. I get a little feedback. I'm not hearing you.
You hearing me loud now?
Yeah, that's a little better. I get a little feedback, but go ahead.
Okay. I was listening to a program today from Good News, and I heard about some plane that landed in Vegas last night, some military plane that came from Africa. Did you hear anything about that?
I heard, but I don't like to run with issues until I can get all my facts.
Okay.
I haven't really addressed it.
You can't verify.
No, I can't.
Okay. You know who's talking to you?
I'm not too certain.
You got me on the air, what?
If I'm an ear?
Yes. If am I on here?
Yes, you're live on Straight Up.
Okay. I'm not going to call my name. I'm going to call it differently.
Okay. I'm supposed to know you.
You must know me, man. Come on.
The voice sounds familiar, but I'm only guessing here, right? But
okay, no problem. I'll call it differently. Don't worry.
Okay, my brother. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay. I really saw information, yes, relating to a carrier, military carrier, if that's the right term, but I didn't have enough time to research it. So like I said, I don't run with issues unless I can be sure about the truthfulness, the veracity of it. Caller, I want to thank you for holding you alive. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, man. Good evening, man.
Good evening, my brother. How about thou?
Great, man. Yeah, belated Valentine's to all the beautiful ladies down there in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
Yeah, Patches, man. You pointed out two distinct differences between that prison project and that destiny project proposed for Nevis. Yep. You said on St. Kitts that prison is on government lands, right?
That is correct, yeah.
In Nevis, all type of deceit, all type of trickery. Those persons who already got caught up with that BS over there in Nevis, some of them don't even know what was going on when they get caught up with that BS. Me, the second point you said is that on St. Kitts, that prison project will be handed over to the government.
True.
That Destiny project on Nevis, not so. I would ask all them landowners up there on the southeast side of Nevis, find out about that out clause, that legal out clause, to get out of that situation. If they're so disappointed with what they're hearing after the fact, Patches, I would boycott that project if I'm disapprove of it. The landowners them can stop that project. Did you say they wasn't even fully paid for their land yet? What type of BS is that, man? You want somebody land and you want to come fake it through? You got so much money in your briefcase and you can't buy them land outright? Man, it's the same BS that happened down in St. Kitts at all them other projects down there. I mean, I don't have all the details. I don't know all the answers. I don't have all the solutions. But when is the Nevis people going to see the paperwork on that deal that Mark made with these people. When are we going to see that paperwork? I understand there's a legal situation brewing, but they're just waiting for the paperwork to come forward. And let's not forget the premier himself, Patches, wasn't he chastising that prison project, talking about it was corrupted too?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, him and the prime minister both did. But yet still, when the prime minister got in, he signed off on all them certificates of, you know, for the passport.
Registration, yeah.
Yeah, the certificates of registration. And that project on Nevis, man, if the premier still think that the prison project was corrupted, all we got to do is compare the figures. It ain't nothing else to do, man. Man, a kid in kindergarten to see right through this stuff. Man, Patches, I ain't no party person, man. And I'm going to bring the hammer down on all the crooked, corrupted politicians down there. I don't care, man. The place is in a mess. Nobody wants to do the work to clean up the mess. Man, I'm 57 a few days ago. Thank God for letting me get to 57. When I was a little boy in Cotton Gown, it's the same BS I heard. The same complaints, man. Inadequate water, inadequate electricity, bad infrastructure, Patches. And I'm not going to try to be bragging on here, but I visited St. Nevis 24. Man, I couldn't even push an elderly father on the road in front of a property I put there. The road is so rugged, bunch of potholes. It's not really a shame, man. Man, I'm just going to leave.
Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost a caller there.
I'm still here, Patches.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still here, man.
Okay, dropped out for me.
The last 30 seconds. 30 seconds real quick. Let me wrap up, man. Let somebody else come in.
Okay.
The place is in a mess, and nobody wants to clean the mess up. The place is the most corrupted place in at least the Western Hemisphere, based on size. And I'll leave it there. Thanks, Patches.
Thanks a lot for your usual, very interesting interventions. I didn't forget my emails. Emailers, good night. Read this email, Mr. Earthswile, Minister, Ambassador Liebert. I'll come back to that. Let me take this call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Liebert, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I listened to your breakdown of the financing of the Destiny Project. And if this doesn't worry the people of St. Nevis and wake us up, nothing else will. We have Johnson and Mark who came up with an idea. And we are going to give Johnson and Mark or CBI receipts to put billions of dollars in their pocket. So they come with an idea. They would not be spending any money. Because whatever Johnson said that he spent, they will be recouping that and millions more.
Exactly.
On top of that. So they brought nothing in. The same thing with Buddy Daddy. Mm-hmm. Buddy Daddy came here with an idea. By the time he finished, he left with billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. We had the MSR media man. He came here with an idea. His own idea failed, but he left with millions of dollars. And so we must understand that this plot between Johnson and the Premier of Nevis is not good. Now we're talking about CBI. I am told that Daniel Brantley and Associates, which is owned by the Premier, also are agent for CBI. I have not confirmed it, but I am told that it's true.
They're service providers. We know that. They're listed as service
So
providers.
if he's a private, if he's a service provider, and Johnson Project will be inhabited by people who are going through that process, who do you think will make all that money?
Good question. That's obvious.
Okay? So it is obvious that he and Johnson is working together, where he's going to make money at the front end, in the middle, and at the back end. So his family is making money off the sale of the land. His business will be making money off of CBI passport because they're agents. And then they will be making money out of combination of working and supporting Johnson. So this whole project has nothing to do with the development of the St. Kitts and Nevis, and Nevis in particular. But who stands to benefit is one family who is going to benefit greatly out of Nevis, which is the Premier and his family. And on the other end, Johnson and his followers going to make money to suit themselves. This thing is immoral, and we should not allow this to happen. And I hope that Dr. Drew do not sell the people of Nevis and think it's short by joining with Mark Brantley and sign up with this unholy alliance. That he will live with some level of dignity and die with that level of dignity, because he signed off this. He's signing off the detriment of St. Kitts and Nevis. Lastly, I'm going to repeat on the prison project. Dr. Drew states that bringing in 25,000 citizens on St. Kitts and Nevis would have been feasible with 56,000 people. I want you to understand that Johnson Map plan is to bring a minimum of 30,000 people on the island of Nevis. Well, this has to be more than treasonous, Mr. Lyman.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And secondly, the people of Nevis need to understand that when these people come in, Mark Brantley says that they have the very same rights like all the rest of us. They will be entitled to vote in our elections. So who is going to control our elections? We will be placed in the minority, and the people who are brought here, if it happens, are the pleasure of Mark Brantley and Johnson. Who do you think they're going to vote for? And then, more importantly, if they are the majority people, who is going to rule this island? It cannot be us, because according to Mark, they have the very same rights like we who born here. So they will have the balance of power. Not only voting power, but also the economical power, and more importantly, the political power. And so let us look at this from this standpoint and see how much we, as the little citizens of Nevis, I think it's a Nevis, stands to lose if we allow Mark Brantley and whoever Johnson his name is to get the right to build out this ungodly alliance that they're hoping to have on this island of Nevis. Everything about destiny is wrong. And anybody who supports destiny has lost their moral and ethical compass. Anybody, regardless of who that individual is. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Sound words, my dear brother. And you're so right. The Johnsons and the Brantleys or Brantley household are the ones going to benefit most. As I said, take your passport, sell it, take the money, buy your land, your own passport. Man selling your passport, coming with the money to buy your land. Good night, Mr. Earthswile Minister, reads this email, Ambassador Liban. First, let me express my profound felicitation for this well-designed, informative program that illuminates our citizen politically at home and in the diaspora, which have significantly impacted us together. I am an ardent listener to Straight Talk and the DJ Marishaw show as well. As for the DJ, I couldn't agree with him more for the manner in which he blasted Dwyer last week for his political bias and double talking, sheer hypocrisy. Many people would tell you that they only listen to Dwyer, Astafan, but they don't hear him. Others would say that they listen but they don't trust him. Some will liken him to a jumping jack, a real political prostitute, as he was once described by Gaston Brown. How can we forget Brown asked him to keep his poop in St. Kitts and stay out of Antigua's affairs? However, this fellow Dwyer is not learning. Recently, Sean thoroughly debunked his treacherous praising of him, Sean, and reminded him of the egregious things he had said and written in the past about Sean and Pam. Today he's on the move like a roaming lion, seeking whom he can devour politically. He has an inherent hatred and an abiding grudge against Harris, all because Harris succeeded where Dwyer miserably failed. The Prime Minister's chief's advisor gave him a proper tongue lashing a few weeks ago on his Sunday afternoon program for his relentless and inexorable deceitfulness. And since the advisor was able to sustain and remain on the job and not being kicked out and humiliated like the big lies, is evidence that the Prime Minister is in full agreement with what his advisor touted about Dwyer. I recall I was in a conversation with the said advisor and Dr. Asigai when Asigai said Dwyer grudged every black man that has a degree. Dwyer, you had a lot to say about Sidney Husband's letter in which he advised Pam and Unity to form a coalition to oust Labour. Nothing is wrong with that. You always preaching forgiveness, peace, love, and togetherness, but you are not serious, for your heart is inundated with malice, hatred, spite, vengeance, animosity, and grudge. Caller, I thank you for holding your live. It's 16 before.
Mr. Patrick, good night.
Good night, my brother. How art thou?
Good.
You're good?
Patrick, wonderful, Patrick. Patrick,
Yes, sir.
I am reading from 118 Psalms. And I'm reading this to lift up somebody, to give somebody courage. Hear the word of God, say 118 Psalms. And it is better to trust in the Lord. It is better to trust in the Lord and put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord and put confidence in princes. That is here. All nations combat around about, but in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them. They combat around me, yea, they combat around me about combat around, but in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them. they combat around me about like this. They are quenched as the fire of thorns. For in the name of the Lord, I will destroy them. We go over to here is a here passage. Now, here is it. The stone, you know what it is? The stone which the builder reject. I can read it again. The stone that the builder refused is become the head of the head. The head of the stone that the builder reject refused become the head of the
head cornerstone.
The cornerstone.
Yeah.
This is the Lord doing. This is the Lord doing.
Okay, Bible man, rap for me, please.
It is marvelous in His sight.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Just rap for me. I'm out of time. I'm running out of time. You got about 4 minutes.
You run out of time, eh?
Yeah, give me a couple of seconds. Come on.
All right.
Thanks for your submit. You finish?
I did.
Yeah, I'll give you 10 seconds. Come on.
This stone that the builder
yes, refused.
reject.
Okay, good.
In 2026, will become the head cornerstone.
Okay, my brother, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your intervention. God bless you, my dear brother. Austin Edinburgh reads this email. I listened to you yesterday on your usual program in which you attempted to fool and mislead the listeners with complete deception. You gave us the impression that the author of St. Kitts Rhythms is novel to you, and you just inadvertently came across this article which you read. Do you know Erasmus Williams, Douglas's former public relations officer? Be honest, Austin, and tell us what false name you know he is writing under. So don't come and tell us nothing about St. Kitts Rhythms, because it is the Labour government political propaganda news outlet, designed and calculated to mislead and deceive the people of the Federation, who are without thinking caps. All the praise and commendation you attributed to this fake news outlet is meaningless and a waste of time. I like the email that you read earlier concerning Rataplan. Had to smile when I heard him say that Harris will be finished. He will be dead and buried with his PLP after the next election. Well, Mr. Stefan, you seem to be very forgetful because you pronounced that same prediction before, during the last election, you and Sam. But the truth is, Harris and PLP has grown exponentially over the years, and that has you shuddered, because the likelihood is Harris could very well be in the fifth next prime minister. However, I am sorry to say this, but Sam is so gullible, and with his blind loyalty towards you, he is the only person you can fool and mislead in St. Kitts. No one else. For neither Labour nor PAM have any use for you, because you do not know what you want in politics. And remember, you are not so clean as you purport to be. You recall how a High Court judge described you. During the hearing of your Aunt Miss Gwenny's case, you are the one who should be buried, not Harris. You have no damn shame, reads this email. Let's go back to the lines and thank these callers for holding. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good night, Brother Patches. Thank you for allowing me.
Good night, sir.
I always try to listen the commentary, contribution to all the callers in criticizing or align themselves with our elected leaders who have failed us so bad. If we look at the three incumbent parties right now, PLP, PAM, People's Action Movement, and the NRP, I think that they all should join one head, not leaving the independent candidates. Yes, there are no independent candidates has registered yet to deem themselves independent candidates contesting into this upcoming election. But isn't it sad to see all these parties had a chance, except NRP, in respect of majority in Nevis? But in St. Kitts, they all were there before. They all had failed, and they all have failed. Why give them a second chance? Why not give new heads, new trial, independent candidates a chance? That is where the goodness, the nectar will be. So people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, quantumize your leap of faith and give new independent candidate a chance. Last but not least, I spoke to your friend Isaiah and he said hi. And continue to keep up the good works. And this man is a wonderful man that I like to speak to. So,
okay.
I will leave this right for now.
Thank you very much. And this email reads, "Good evening, Mr. Libert. Correct me if I am wrong. We heard our Prime Minister boast about his creativity for using shares to buy back land in Frigate Bay. But have we heard correctly? And if so, is that not double dipping in the highest order on the part of the persons getting the shares? How does it make sense for us to use our shares to buy back our land? Please clarify this first. I want to thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Your patches are going to be quick.
Sure.
Patches, these people get caught up, trapped in the Destiny project, selling the land. Don't you think that those people should come on the radio and social media? You got Straight Talk, you got 2020 Vision Radio, you got different radio talk show. They could come on and give us a clear picture of the injustice with the land or whatsoever. I believe the public will feel more satisfied to hear them come out and speak. Because as far as they're concerned, they never know how these land going. They never know that they're going into the, what they call it, into the passport, and then this man going to sell our passport and then pay back the government whatever they get, but the government now going to get a big slum out of it. The government or whosoever behind this Destiny project. So I believe these people should come on and get a clear picture of what's going on. You understand? These people get injustice to the land. People come out and speak. This is a democratic country. You got the rights. We can't always relax on these things. Nobody gonna do nothing. Come out and speak. Okay. Nevis people are independent people, you know that? They don't depend on the government for nothing. But again, you have a wonderful night and all those in the diaspora. Have a wonderful night. May God bless you and continue to call. Good night, Mr. Welcome. And continue to call Mr. Jones, the Nevis, because you are doing a wonderful job.
Okay.
All right then, Patrick.
Thank you very much. We go back to the lines. And just to remind you of our quotation for tonight, the problem is not that the enemy will invade you. The problem is the internal enemies and traitors. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, California.
How is Kalikwan's aunt? I am peaceful. Yourself?
Oh, I'm here listening to you, loud and clear.
Okay.
These immigrants that the Prime Minister bringing here, I think it's last night they come in or sometime there. They come in. What he gonna do with those people? That the outer world might hear. Oh, you don't hear what happening in St. Kitts. Why he bring them here? Huh? Why he bring them here? You know what they don't do. You know what? Why is the recommendation? You know what is the wherever they don't do out there? You hear me,
Yeah. I'm listening.
You do not know what those people done already for you to bring them
I'm not
here.
certain. I'm not certain what you said is correct about. You said the immigrants, or I mean the refugees. I'm not certain that's what the plane brought. My intelligence has told me that in preparation, are you there? Okay, we seem to have lost you. But in preparation for the CARICOM heads, the conference of heads, which is the 50th one, we understand that aircraft came in connection with the meeting next week. I think it's next week, Wednesday. Okay?
Mr. Liban?
Yeah, I was saying to you, there's a conference of heads, the 50th conference of heads meeting, that's CARICOM, next week, Wednesday. And I understand that aircraft, I'm still to reconfirm it, but the aircraft came in connection with that meeting coming up next week in terms of security and so on. So let's not get out of turn here.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
And I want, because I know all over the world, when election have to call, people of St. Kitts and Nevis and around the world, when election call, I do not take no money from none of those politicians. Go to the polling station and get this government out. Because they're not doing nothing, they ain't bringing nothing to the country but corruption. Everybody balling. What you want to tell me? The Prime Minister now here, people quiet. People see how we used to give them $500 and they want to hear, they want 1,500. And now we not give them the 1,500. He not give them money, used to give them the 250 job, he stop it. The 500 when they don't take out Social Security, you're not going home with 500. People got their bills them to pay. Cost of living getting higher. He can go sell the land them over Crystal Harbor over some place over there to ram them. Ram them till they carry right near the IK thing of the hospital. So that's why he ain't want to go and tell them nothing about cost of living. He ain't want to go and tell them nothing cost of living, killing people in this country, Mr. Lloyd. They're talking about Timothy Harris not going back in there. Who God bless them and cause. Because he going right back in there. Right back in there, Timothy Harris going. Nobody gonna stop that when the people go to the police station. So they could kick up and pass and shout anything what they want to say. He's going back inside there. And whenever election call, I want to be on the stage to have me talk with the mic. I want to be there to have me talk with the mic. Because they're going to abuse help from this government. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. They're bringing them to the country. This advisor where he got a new gang, this big heel, dirty heel man right there, but he got advisors over him. Telling him about the nonsense. Think it could come better? Think it could come better.
Okay.
But if you find a leader where they want here, they're just grabbing other people's tax money. All over the world, he want to go.
Okay, my dear, thanks a lot for your contribution tonight. Always passionate, always up and about. Nice to hear you. Kalai Kwazan. Sometimes you're my wife. But Patches reads this email. The real danger around here is not the deceitful politicians. The politicians know it. The real problem is that many people have been brainwashed and are not capable of thinking past the words of these politicians. take the caller just now who says that he does not give Mark wrong for fighting to develop Nevis. If he was really fighting, he needs to put Nevis in a position to produce for themselves, manufacture something, not just be consumers. And then, if we are not consumers, we're pimping ourselves. How in the world, with our history and all the bad examples around us, why are we still looking for these quick fixes? Our politicians are lazy and greedy, and not one can say they have a long-term strategic plan and have a general idea of the direction for St. Kitts and Nevis. And this emailer asked me about the Frigate Bay issue. I know that the Frigate Bay Golf Course was leased by the Marriott Group. In terms of the land that they bought, I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that, so I'll have some information sooner rather than later. We would like the Bitcoin man to tell us how much he spent on his AI-generated development concept. I'm willing to bet he spent more buying the man who likes to go on his boat. Read this email. Caller, you're live. You're winding down my Straight Dog family. Perhaps take 2 more calls and get out of here. Are you there, caller? You're live.
Yeah, Patches, real quickly. Quick question. The price on the shares, the minimum, did it go up from? I mean, what is the real figure? When Dr. Judem came in and the price was down minimally, and they increased it back, did they put it back to? They put it up to 250, or tonight I think you said 350 per share or whatever. Can you clarify that, please, man?
Well, 350 is the real estate option. There are different options. The 350 is for the real estate option, and the 250 is the public benefit option. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
okay, and lastly,
okay.
Yeah, great point there. That's why I'm calling out those landowners over there on the southeast side of Nevis, because, as Mark is trying to attach this to the CBI, those landowners over there too, they need to find a way out and boycott this stuff. Otherwise, they too will be selling out Nevis. And I'll leave it there tonight, Patches. Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good night and get home safe.
Thanks a lot for your contribution. And my Straight Talk family, tonight I raise the issue of our lands in Nevis. And I can always speak to you as a division born in St. Kitts. It's our land. And I want to remind you that in 1975, some 51 years ago, under the visionary leadership of Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, our government took a bold step to reclaim our lands from private plantation owners in St. Kitts and Nevis, for that matter. But Nevis had plantations too. And he placed them into public hands, breaking the centuries-old dominance of private estate ownership. And this was more than legislation. It was justice for our people. A guarantee that the wealth of our soil would serve all, Tut, Mum, and Bagay, and not just a privileged few. Our passport, on the other hand, is part of our country's patrimony and a tangible expression of its independence and nationhood. Our passport belongs to the nation collectively, not to any individual, government, or politician to exploit for private gain. Using our passport solely for short-term financial gain, as proposed by the Destiny, can only be seen as undermining that patrimony. And yes, in 2025, 55 years after Bradshaw did what he did with our lands, Mark Brantley promotes this developer to use our passports to generate CBI revenue, to directly purchase 2,400 acres of land owned by Nevisians. Not for affordable housing, not for youth entrepreneurship, but for an enclave in Nevis. Johnson's claim to have seed money. So we ask, why doesn't he pay for the lands? Mark Brantley, on the other hand, we are told, proposed that the CIU approve 10,000 CBI shares or investment units to be sold in order to finance the project. And I told you, he wanted a two-part component of the project, a public benefit option, trying to claim that would build the roads and pay for the land. And then he wants build the roads, electricity, water. And a portion of shares would be sold at $250,000 to finance the water, electricity, the roads, and the lands. The other portion of shares to be sold at US $350,000 to construct the real estate component of the project. And my Shredog family, this man Johnson not bringing any of his own money to the project. How could we let him? How could we allow him to sell our passports, the passports belonging to you and I, to pay Nevisians for their land? His plan, therefore, is to use the CBI program as a speculative funding instrument. And that can't be right. It can't be right. And if what we're hearing is right, Mr. Chairman Calvin St. Just, we support you not to recommend cabinet approval for 10,000 shares, or perhaps no shares at all. Make the man bring in money. And this is a serious threat that we face today. Mark Brantley proposing to use CBI funds to return these lands to private control to reinstate the dominance of a small elite group like Olivier Johnson and his Belgian friends. Let's just be clear, my people. We cannot allow the hard-won gains of our people to be reversed, because that's what's happening. The land belongs to our citizens. Its wealth must benefit our children, our farmers, and our communities, not foreign investors or a tiny class of private owners. My Straight Dog family, I said earlier that Mark Brantley and Kenneth Ridgok seem to have had recently an unholy alliance. An unholy alliance. And he's seen Mark as the powerhouse in the Caribbean. All of a sudden, Mark Brantley seemed to have forged an unholy alliance. I've seen him post Ken Ridgok now on his page. So unusual, so morally dubious, with financial crime blogger Ken Ridgok, who is a self-proclaimed authority on money laundering, terrorism, financing, and financial crime. But he promotes Brantley as someone with clean hands and a contrite spirit. Someone whose household is benefiting the most from this project, if God forbid it goes forward in this form. And we're not saying it shouldn't go forward, but it should not go forward in this form. Not at all. Reflecting a moral or spiritual awareness of having done wrong. Because according to Ridgok, Mark Brantley denounced this Chinese CBI fraud by distancing himself from the jail project. But when it comes to the jail project, Rejok, if it was a place where a crime was committed, then the available and credible evidence puts Mark Brantley right on the scene of the crime. And just to take my word for now, my Straight Dog family, because I won't violate the rule of secrecy. Otherwise, Straight Talk would have posted a copy of that decision on your screen. But for now, I won't. I played you the voice of John L. Powell. But I asked Kenneth Rejok further. If 5,500 shares were issued for that jail project, and that was a big scam, why wouldn't you agree that 10,000 shares will classify as the biggest CBI scam ever in the Federation? Imagine Mark Brantley proposing to sell St. Kitts Nevis passports to finance his Belgian friend with millions of dollars to buy lands owned by the people of Nevis. So the executive chairman of the board of CBI governors is right to disapprove this. And because he disapproved it, he attracted the wrath of Rejok's pen. But I hold no brief, as I said, for St. Just. So I hold no brief for you. I don't know you from Adam Gumtree. But these two Kenneth Rejok blogs, Straight Talk could not corroborate them. Thus, the veracity of the stories will remain questionable, cannot be supported. But Ken Rejok wrote absolutely nothing, when Mark Brantley was caught red-handed. Caught red-handed, I tell you, jumping onto a tender. Jumping onto this tender, my Straight Dog family. Rejok didn't write about this. He jumped on this tender to meet his bosses on the luxury yacht, my Straight Dog family, which was anchored off the Four Seasons Hotel. And he went there like a fisherman going to sea to pull or haul his pots, having trusted this tide to reward these efforts. But here comes Brantley ignoring all of this. Here comes our Rejok again, ignoring all of this, and talks nonsense about Brantley's doctrine. Totally ignoring, my Straight Dog family. Totally ignoring the land grab by this so-called Belgian investor. Yes, he acquired economic citizenship under St. Kitts and Nevis under CBI program. That Rejok, you claim, was rife with corruption and fraud. The pillars are clear, you wrote. Unity before alignment. But charity begins at home. Let's get the unity home. Let's remove the 113 clause. If you really want unity, I demand. So I ask Rejok, how could he opine that Mark Brantley understands the truth others refuse to face, when his new model closer to Monaco or Dubai contemplates the sale of 10,000 shares to build out the Destiny project alone? If your source is valuable and truthful for the past 10 years, then confirm or deny. If it is true that special concessions or a special concession was requested, the CIU board to sell shares at 200 $150,000 to raise the money to build out the infrastructure for the Destiny project. And we know that is true. And we are saying this is the ultimate ripoff, the biggest scam. Imagine Mark Brantley brings an investor to sell our passports, then to buy our land we got from independence. Or as a matter of fact, we got it before independence. In 1975, 51 years ago, Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw did that, my Straight Talk family. And now, Mark Brantley wants to reverse that, which was justice for our people. A guarantee that the wealth of our soil would serve all, and not just a privileged few. Now, our passport, on the other hand, is part of our country's patrimony and a tangible expression of its independence and nationhood. Our passport belongs to the nation collectively, not to any individual government or politician to exploit for private gain. So using it solely for short-term financial gain as proposed by Destiny can only be seen as undermining that patrimony. My Straight Dog family, this man is not bringing any of his own money to the project, but wants to sell our passports. Passports belonging to you and I, to pay Nevisians for their land. His plan, therefore, is to use the CBI program as a speculative funding instrument. Imagine, the CIU chairman did not recommend approval. And he's right. Because 10,000 shares would bring Jansen's $3.5 billion or $9.5 EC billion. And my Straight Dog family, as I leave you, let us be clear. We cannot allow the hard-won gains of our people to be reversed. The land belongs to our citizens. Its wealth must benefit our children, our farmers, and our communities, not foreign investors or a tiny class of private owners. The CIU chairman, St. Just, was in a right frame of mind not to recommend cabinet approval for such a model under the CBI program. Hell no. Imagine selling St. Kitts Nevis passports to buy Nevisians' lands. And that's my story tonight, and I'm not going to change it. But as I thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always, I leave you with the quotation again. The problem is not that the enemy will invade you. The problem is the internal enemies and traitors. My Straight Dog family, remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. My Straight Dog family, remember, as I said, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. So, keep moving on until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
When I wake in the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceive, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should. On my knees, to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day, my guardian to keep, and my guide, over every step I take, He will preside.